everybody. Welcome to another episode of Coming Up Milhouse, where today we are talking about Season 6, Episode 8, Lisa on Ice. And I just wanted to mention before you talk about it that we are approaching our 2-year anniversary of creating this show, Coming Up Milhouse. The show where we don't talk about Milhouse.
That is right. Have we ever even mentioned his name during our talking of this?
You and I have not. No. One of our guests did in one episode, and that's quite all right. So that was the reason, one of our little jokes of creating this show was to call it Coming Up Milhouse and not talk about Milhouse.
Not talk about Milhouse, and it's been hard on a couple of occasions because he's done some things that we would like to talk about, but we've done a pretty good job of keeping that in check, I think.
Yep, and there are definitely some episodes coming up that we'll miss out on some great lines and scenes because of that, but that's quite all right. And thank you everybody for watching our show for the past 2 years. We're 3 days shy of our first airing of 2 years ago.
Yep, our first episode was Whacking Day, and we're just a couple days shy of the 2-year anniversary of that.
Pretty wild, but we appreciate your support and your viewership.
That is correct, and we are here to talk about Lisa on Ice. So, is Lisa good at sports? Not particularly, but Bart is good at hockey, but we find out that Lisa's got some skills that make her a pretty decent goalie, and she gets on the opposite team of Bart, and they become rivals.
Tell you what, Simpson, I won't fail you if you join one of those pee-wee teams outside the school.
You mean those leagues where parents push their kids into vicious competition to compensate for their own failed dreams of glory?
Look, I don't need this. I inhaled my favorite whistle this morning.
And that is the story we got. You think they'll patch things up? Well, we'll talk about that. And we got Vera running around our feet, so don't worry if we're doing stuff like this, because we got a cat biting our feet. But while we're doing that, we will start this off with lines. Give me line number one.
Line number one. I asked for ketchup. I'm eating a salad here. That was Homer.
Ketchup, and then Bart gives him the mustard. That's what made him mad and said that. And he starts putting mustard on his salad.
I know. Fact of the matter is, this is the first and possibly only time we've ever seen Homer eat a salad. And I've never heard of anyone eating ketchup on their salad. Honey mustard, but not regular mustard. Maybe.
Maybe there was honey in the mustard.
But I don't know. It seemed a little odd, but that's the line I chose for my first one to share today. What about you?
Mine is, me fail English? That's impossible.
Oh, good old Ralph.
So, that was Ralph, and he got called out in the assembly by Skinner to get a red ticket for failing something, and he's failing English. And he thought he was winning an award, but no.
He was not.
No, and he was very surprised. He thought that was impossible.
Impossible.
To be me failing English. So. All right, what do you got for number 2?
I'm going to go with, we paid for blood! And that was Hans Moleman at the hockey game. Hockey match, I guess it would be. What about you?
My second line is from Homer, and it's, okay, Pie, I'm going to do this. And if you happen to get eaten, it's your own fault. So Marge makes a pie and doesn't want Homer to eat it. And a scene before that, Bart and Lisa did that gag where they're like, I'm going to do this, and if you're in my air and get hit, that's your fault.
And I'm going to kick the air, and if you happen to get in my space.
Yeah. And then the next scene is Marge making a pie telling Homer not to eat it, and that's his reply. I'm going to do this. And if you happen to get eaten, that's your fault.
That's pretty great.
I like it.
Oh, boy. What about your favorite scene?
So I was kind of going back and forth on a couple things, but I am going to go with the Lisa inauguration scene. And that's probably the one you picked, huh? Well, I'll tell you what, I got a backup.
It's okay, I have a backup too.
All right.
We can agree on the Lisa inauguration scene with one key part I'm guessing you chose because she got found out that she failed second grade gym and ended up
on Monster Island. So the future president-elect Lisa gets sent to Monster Island because she failed second grade gym.
Don't worry, it's
in
only a name.
fantasy sequence. It's really a peninsula. There's still Rodan and Godzilla and whatever running around on.
Yep.
I had to pick it for the monsters. I mean, come on, you
That's
know.
okay. I also had it down as one, but I have a backup. So
What's your backup?
No worries. My backup is that Bart and Lisa are at the hockey match and Bart's throwing trash at her and she's blocking it, and then Apu, his goalie, was not the best goalie in this episode, and so he needs a replacement goalie, and he sees Lisa blocking all this trash and he says, "Heads up, little girl," and he smashes a puck at her head and she catches it in her hand. So that was my backup scene.
And I like how he was like, I'm gonna have to do it again to make sure it
Yes.
wasn't a fluke and consider like
A couple
some
times.
Yeah.
A couple times he
was like
An
he was
adult.
trying to hurt her.
Yes.
Yeah.
knocking hockey pucks at Lisa with no pads on. So it's pretty great.
Pretty good. All right, that takes us to winners and losers. How do you want to do that this week?
Let's go with your loser first.
I am going to go with Jimbo for a couple of reasons. So at the beginning of the episode, toward the beginning, Bart goes running outside because he thinks it's a snow day and he's in his pajamas. And Jimbo and all the bullies, everybody's for some reason at their house. And Jimbo's like, "Nice jammies. Did your mommy buy them for you?" And Bart shut him down by being like, "Yeah, who else would have?"
Right.
And then Jimbo was like, "Oh, well, my joke didn't work." And then later, Lisa beats the Jimbo up when he's picking on Bart. So Jimbo didn't have a good episode, so he's my loser this week.
Good choices. Well, my loser, when Lisa is trying to find a Pee-wee league to join, she tries out for the volleyball team. And so my loser is the volleyball coach and that team, in fact, because Lisa's spiky hair, she goes to spike the ball when it comes to her and it lands on her spike and deflates instead. And the volleyball coach said, "Well, that was our only ball." So they couldn't have volleyball in that season.
No, season's over. Our only ball's down. Couldn't go buy another ball. They didn't have the budget, apparently.
Not at all. And what about your winner?
I picked Bart's turtle. So Bart wins the game kind of in like the early part of the episode before Lisa joins. He wins the game, or he's on the winning side. And Homer comes in. He's like, "Bart, you won. And to honor my side of the deal, here's your turtle back." And I thought to myself, what if he had lost? What would have happened to that turtle?
know.
But they won, so Bart got his turtle back. And I think the turtle's the winner because he got out of Homer's
Pocket or wherever it was.
control.
I know.
Let's put it that way.
So there was a turtle in this episode, and a couple episodes back. Well, the last episode that you and I talked about, we had a special episode in between.
Right.
But the last episode, which was episode 7, Willie saved the wee turtles.
The wee turtles.
And I wonder if that turtle that Bart had in this episode was one of those wee turtles.
Yeah.
So I think that turtle was an extra winner that you chose.
Yeah, if he was one of the wee turtles that Willie supposedly saved in that other episode, then
I feel like those turtles have been saved from a
they got more
fire.
lives. They got more lives than cats.
That's true. It's just slightly larger than those wee turtles, so I think it could match up.
You could have grown into that,
Yep.
an episode or two later.
It could match up.
I like it.
Mhm.
Who's your winner?
I'm going to go with the inmates from the Springfield Penitentiary because Wiggum is the coach of the Mighty Pigs team, which is a spoof of the Mighty Ducks, and he is also the chief of police, and he goes to the prison and he makes a deal with the inmates that they have to come to the game to watch his team, and then he says, you have to promise to come back, and Snake didn't agree to that, and then he says, okay, well, you don't have to come back, but you have to promise not to do any more crimes. And again, Snake didn't agree to that, but everybody got released from prison to go to the game. And honestly, it only looked like a few inmates went to the game, so.
Yeah, it wasn't all the ones that escaped.
Not at all. So, good luck, Springfield.
And I'd say Snake's a little bit more of a winner too, because at the end of the episode he was touched by Bart and Lisa's coming together moment.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he got to destroy stuff.
Right. So he had a little bit of a memory bank moment.
Yep.
So that's what I went with. I also going to throw a shout out to Maggie, because I think Maggie could be the winner of this episode, because I think she has future goalie written all over her.
Caught that beer.
So
right.
There you go.
Love it.
Anything else you want to mention about this episode?
No, just it was a fun one, and I also would like to just thank all of our subscribers. We've had a few new ones join us recently, and we love that. Keep coming back to these episodes. We have a lot of fun with it, and we definitely appreciate you subscribing, everyone, but especially our new ones. So if you are new to the channel and you want to join the group, hit the subscribe button down here. We'd love to see you, and also we'd love to hear your comments or anything like that. Opinions you have on this, give us a like if you're up for that. We'd appreciate it. So that is our episode for this week. Lisa on Ice.
Again, Season 6, Episode 8. Give it a watch and share your thoughts below. We'd love to hear from you. And until next time,
Jiminy Chillikers!
And now, to honor America, here's Krusty the Clown.
Oh, say, can you sing? La 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 light. What's a problem with that? Shouldn't have turned down those cue cards. Oh.